Greetings, and welcome to Masterpiece Fanfic Theater, where we celebrate the very best in the very worst of fan fiction. Well, not today at least. The story I have for you today is not bad in the least. In fact, it can almost be called as great, artistic even. It's a story all about me, as written by you, the fans of Masterpiece Fanfic Theater. I am humbled to bring unto you all Bennett vs. KFC, as written by you, the fans of Masterpiece Fanfic Theater. Our story begins. Once upon a time, there was a very happy restaurant called KFC. It was a lovely day in the free country of the United American States, and there was much to be done. Many people were looking to run for president of the American United States, so KFC was so happy and wanted to run for president. KFC went to Washington, D.C. and declared to everyone that he was planning to run for president. Christopher Walken said, "Sorry, KFC, this country is only free for people. Restaurants cannot run a country." This made KFC very upset.
"I'll show them," he said. "Restaurants are free to do as they please, just like people."
KFC had an idea, and built a robot that looked a lot like a person. I'll call him Techno Sanders. The next day, Techno Sanders went to the White House so he could start his evil plan. He said to Bill Clinton, "Hello, fellow human. I am an American too, and I am running for president." Bill Clinton said, "We need to see your documents to prove you are American." Techno Sanders did not have any papers, so he panicked. KFC came in over the radio in his head and told Techno Sanders what to do. He picked up Bill Clinton and ate him, then spat out a jar. "Good! More of the secret formula," said KFC to T. Sanders over the radio. Later that week, the news announced that T. Sanders already won 12 of the Republican and 1 of the Communist states. California. Meanwhile, Bennett the Sage was at home drinking diet testosterone when he saw this and proceeded to spit drink everywhere. "Those KFC bastards are behind every bit of this. I am not letting them get away after what they did to my son." The sage glared upwards deeply into his thoughts as a very manly tear rolled down his cheek. Well, that part is pure fabrication. I don't cry. Ever. Meanwhile, T. Sanders was at the voting polls, eating everyone that was voting for the other person. KFC satellites were monitoring the area carefully from space when they spotted Bennett in the bushes with a sniper rifle. "Not so fast," said a voice over a loudspeaker. A KFC helicopter ascended from behind the trees with a Gatling gun and fired at the sage. He did a really awesome tuck-and-roll maneuver, and fired a precision shot at the back rotor, sending the helicopter spiraling off into a hillside. Bennett turned around to take aim with his sniper rifle again, but Techno Sanders was standing in front of him, and grabbed him by the collar and grinned with his razor-blade teeth. The sage jumped back, causing his shirt to rip open, revealing his rock-hard abs. "Do you think you are the only man of steel around here?" the sage chuckled off while swinging his gun around at T. Sanders. Oh yeah, underneath this flab, pure steel. T. Sanders stopped the sniper rifle mid-swing and bit the barrel off in one chomp. "We have a variety bucket with your name on it." At that split second, the sage saw a light from the corner of his eye and used his super gaming reflexes to jump out of the way, barely dodging an arrow. "He was not joking!" exclaimed Will Smith as he reloaded his crossbow. "KFC product placement and I don't even have to act!" The sage was at a disadvantage, as he could not watch both Will and T. Sanders at the same time. Techno Sanders then charged at the sage from behind, while Will Smith took aim with his crossbow. The sage ran full speed at Will Smith, keeping an eye at his trigger. Will Smith pulled the trigger and fired while the sage took a dive underneath Will Smith. The arrow hit T. Sanders in the face and caused his jaw to start chomping. Before Will could react, Bennett jumped up and hurled Will into his mouth. "Aw, hell nah!" was the last words heard from him. His poisonous meat then caused T. Sanders to malfunction and explode. About this time, Bennett noticed a large crowd gathering and watching. The crowd pushed the cowardly KFC forward in front of Bennett.
Now it is time you finish what you started many years ago, KFC. One day my son ordered chicken legs and you gave him chicken wings. My son was allergic to chicken wings and he died while eating them.
The sage took KFC to courts the next day and sued them. Though the sage is now rich, he lives out his fairly quiet life in his home, sharing his video game wisdom with his dedicated fans on thatguywiththeglasses.com. Some say this is his way of suppressing his terrible memories of the events, while others say it is to hide from his female fans who are only after his body and cunning skills. We may never know. The end. This is the greatest story ever written. No joke. Joyce Fitzgerald hacks compared to the authors of this story. It has everything you could ever want in a story. Action, suspense, scantily clad women, me, everything. But it makes me all the more sad come the next episode, where we return to our normal format of me reviewing a god-awful piece of garbage that passes itself off as literature. So join me next time, will you? Where I review a story that can only be described as totally bugfuck insane. I'm Bennett the Sage, and I bid you adieu.